All you want. Laura, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you, Joe?
I'm good. I usually start these podcasts off when I usually tell my guests, do you know what's something you're not supposed to do on a podcast? I always do
Oh,
this. You're not supposed to drink like sparkling water when you're
okay.
talking because you're like it makes me burp a little bit,
Can you
but I
spell
don't do it
the
anyway.
alphabet?
Yo, the spin drifts are actually not that bubbly. That's why
Okay.
I chose this
Okay.
one. They're a little
Safe.
bit more.
Everybody's safe.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, before we got started, I was going to tell you that, yes, that is a Run DMC poster and shoe behind me. When I was in college at Rutgers University in New Jersey, they played like on the campus and like we went and it was so much fun. And then they like hung out afterwards and like,
Oh, you got to meet them.
yeah,
Obviously.
like,
Yeah.
and that's my
It
shoe.
wasn't
I was
like
wearing,
a eBay purchase.
no, I was wearing that shell top Adidas, and I was like, guys, you have a song about Adidas. I wear Adidas because of you. Excuse me, can you please? See, I told you. So I was like, can you please sign this? And they said, yeah. And then the poster is signed too.
That's
So
very cool. Very nice.
they're like, who's you know what's funny is usually at halfway through the pod, I always ask this question, but I'm gonna ask it right now. What was your first concert?
Okay, so Smashing Pumpkins,
Whoa, okay, that's a pretty cool one.
and the second one was Tool.
Oh wow, where was that? Do you know like what
And
year? Where were
oh
you?
gosh, no, 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 no. So long ago. And then the third one was Garbage, in that order.
Is that like how old are you? Are you in high school? Are
That's
you
high
like
school.
in?
That's all high school. Mm-hmm.
So you were like a cool kid in high school.
No, not really. No.
Did you hang out with? Well, you would have been cool to me.
I had good taste in music. I think everybody thinks they were cool, but
If you were going to see Smashing Pumpkins and Tool and Garbage, you probably were pretty cool.
well,
It's probably
I always loved music, and I still do. So yeah, but I'm not really
what.
into concerts. I don't like large groups of people. So
Oh my God, are you ready for this one? So guess what I'm gonna go see on Saturday? So Saturday is my birthday,
aw,
and
nice.
I'm gonna go see Oasis at the Rose Bowl.
Wonderful, wonderful. Happy birthday.
Thank you. 80. There's gonna be 80,000 people there. Is that?
I thought
Is
you were
that?
just about to say I'm 80. No, I'm just kidding.
No, not yet. You know, people tell me I look young for my age, which I really love.
Okay, well now we
But
gotta know. Are we doing
I'll
that?
be 40. I'll be 46 years old.
Okay, I'm right behind you. I'm 44.
Cool. Yeah, we're the same age. So yeah, I was obsessed with that first Tool record. I not Opiate, the second Tool record. That one was I was obsessed with that record, the black record with the red on front. That's awesome. Cool. Tell us about who are you? What do you do for work? Where do you live?
My name is Laura Fore. I'm the owner broker of Fore Premier Properties here in Kerrville, Texas, which y'all might have heard a bit about Kerrville, Texas in the headlines. So we are the beautiful hill country town that did get hit by that flood. So something we have never experienced before, at least in my generation. So yeah, that's where I live. That's where I sell real estate. I have about an 80-man independent brokerage office, and we have 3 locations. We have
Wow.
Kerrville, we have Fredericksburg, and we have Hunt, Texas. So, and of course, you and I talked a little bit about that over the phone, which, you know, in case you're wondering, our community is very strong, and there's been so much kindness in the world, and it's very encouraging. But very proud of my community, the build back efforts and rebuild efforts, and you know, all the volunteers and responders and nonprofits. I mean, it's been amazing to see, because I've never experienced a large natural disaster like this. So yeah, yeah.
Can you tell me how? Yeah, we did talk, and I'm actually glad you brought it up. Can you tell me? Can you talk a little bit about how you were personally affected? You had like
Well,
how you were personally affected,
we
and
have
maybe.
an office in Hunt, and it is literally at the very epicenter of where the North Fork and the South Fork of the Guadalupe River converge, literally right where my office is. And
Wow.
so we had about 4.5 feet of water. I say water, just think of it as mud.
Yeah.
In the
Wow.
office, we lost all our equipment and, furnishings and decor and things like that. Astoundingly, though, everything around the office is literally obliterated. It's a lot of milestone buildings, historical properties that have been around forever, new construction, high-end modern homes, just wiped out or decimated or heavily damaged. Our building is in the 1932 building, which was like the first rebuild on a large scale after the last big flood in this area. So it's interesting that that was a building that was, kind of built in a time during that rebuild, and that it survived this flood. It's all rock, it's all cedar. I guess they don't build them like they used to typically, I
Yeah.
guess you would say. But, we bounced back. We actually reopened our doors last week.
Wow.
And, I had a gentleman call and one of my agents, and he just went over there and power washed and sanitized everything on his own and didn't ask for anything. I didn't ask. He just said, let me do this for you. We
Wow.
went over there and, I was hoping some of the office would, rally and help, with shovels and get all the mud out. And, I got there and it was done.
Wow.
It's very moving to see,
Wow.
especially if you're like me and you don't like asking for anything. You're like, I got this, and in a time where, people lost their lives, their homes, all of that, I was not, I wasn't like, help me at all. We're okay. We're going to be fine. We're going to, if anything, focus on helping you, which is really how we reacted after the event. You can't sit at home and, doom scroll. You got to get out there and do something. So that's exactly what we did. We had agents that were literally in the river looking for people. We had people, donate so many man hours. We had other agents impacted, and so that's where we put our focus, really, more so than us. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
But I am happy to say that we're put back together again. Not, I'd say 100%. There's like touch-up paint and some things to get done, but we are the very first back.
Wow.
In Hunt, Texas. It's a very small little commercial pocket. It's where the post office was, the Hunt store, our office and things like that. So I really, I think in those scenarios, people are probably, wondering, do they want to, should I just cut my losses? No, it was so important for us to say, we're here. We're not going anywhere. And for me, reopening was more about that than it was about reopening itself. It was to give, I think, some hope and optimism to, all the people that drive by. And we did kind of reinvent our office purpose a little bit. It is now basically a Wi-Fi cafe for the community. Nice. So we've got way more computers than we had before, thanks to lovely donations that I never asked for. So we got a nice setup there. People can come have coffee, print their emails. They can print for free all day long, use it as their office. If there's any, groups, church groups and so forth that need a place to kind of hub out of, there's a place for that. So, no, I'm very proud of our office. They did great. And again, so impressed, but the need is still there. So Community Foundation is where a lot of those donations are going. And then from there, it kind of disperses to the nonprofits who then really get it to the folks in need. Of course, the homeowners are the primary focus. And then, from there, the business community and all the other things. So yeah, it's been an interesting ride for sure.
That's wild. So yeah, thanks for sharing that. I'm glad. Yeah. Like I said, I'm glad you brought that up. That's like, God, the media forgets, but it's not. It's like an everyday thing still where you are,
yeah.
right? It's just like
it's headlines, and then on to the next story, and we live it every day, right? But I'm happy to say, day by day, little by little, things are looking better. It's impressive. It's really impressive, the cleanup efforts, the debris haul off, all of those things. And it's still home, the river, it's like you have this weird feeling of, you're angry at what happened, and it's, still beautiful, still gorgeous.
Wow. Wow.
It's probably no different than living on the coast and the ocean. You see the destruction, you see the beauty.
That's really profound. That's really awesome. Yeah, that's great. You can see both sides of it. And then you said you turned your office into basically a Wi-Fi cafe situation, so everybody could kind of come and work and just have like a home base. That's awesome.
Exactly. Trying to find a secondary or a new use for an office space. So that's kind of what we came up with. And coffee. People love coffee. We all need coffee.
Coffee's good.
The world runs on coffee.
Are you a big coffee person?
I have a coffee shop.
Oh, you told me that. That's right.
Yes, yeah.
Dude, that's cool.
Yes, I'm a Renaissance woman. So
what other businesses do you have that you already told me about that I forgot already?
We have a fitness club and three vacation rentals.
Nice.
And a little stable of commercial investment properties that we play with. So yeah. Always spinning plates.
Now you just got to build a surf pool where you are.
Right.
That'd be the next thing.
Thank you again for that. That was the experience of a lifetime to be able to, I don't think anything will compare. I tried. I went back to Port A, and I was just like, this is not the same.
It's not the same. We're lucky, man. I was out yesterday. I've been trying to get in the water like 3 times a week. That's my goal. And for me, the surfing thing it's great. It's medicine. It's like meditation. It's like everything I need for my brain. Like the relief, like the way I feel going in the water versus like going back to the car. It's noticeable. It's noticeably different. But so how long has your brokerage been in business?
Let's see. So we opened in 2008. So what is that? Don't make me do math. 23 years?
Okay, you don't do math. That's fine. We can do math.
Yeah.
And 80 agents. That's pretty wild. How do you attract 80 agents to come and work with you? That's pretty impressive.
I've never been a recruiter. I've never, intentionally put a lot of effort into specifically recruiting. I've thought about, what would that look like if I did, but we've had more organic growth, I would say.
Yes.
And just blessed to have started small and grew with the right people at the right time who then I would say our agents are our best recruiters more than anything. And there's no incentive. There's no kickback. There's no downline. There's no, I'm very, of course, partial to my associates. I think they're the greatest people in the whole wide world. So when other agents close deals with them, a lot of those conversations open up naturally. And, what's it like over there? Or what's Laura like? And things like that. What are your splits? And, what do they do for you? Do you get leads? All of those things. And I think our agents are very open and proud and receptive to have those conversations, and it has led to curiosity and people reaching out. It's usually kind of how it goes. I'll get a call, a text, and I'll show them around and tell them what we're all about and see if it's a good fit. And there's been times where I wasn't so sure and it worked out fantastic. There's other times where I thought be good, and then you really don't know, right? And I would say that I'm usually willing to, if I see something there, and I just have a long conversation with them, just like you and I doing right now. I just have a long conversation with them and see if I can find the qualities that I'm looking for, and whether they're new or experienced, then I'll know. It's kind of a gut feeling, if you will. You know if it's a fit most of the time. Sometimes you get a little curveball here and there.
Wow. It sounds to me like you know what your core values are, and you're looking for people that align with those values. That sound about right?
Well, yeah. Yeah.
What are some of the core values of your company?
Sincerity, genuine, not self-serving, but serving of others. And, I'm a high empath person. And I firmly believe if you just do a good job and, you do the best that you can, that you are genuinely working to accomplish the goals of your client and exceed expectations, provide great service, be very diligent with your thoughtful, research and advice and recommendations, that it all comes back to you tenfold. They'll have a great experience and that'll lead to referrals and all of that. And I think if you just approach your real estate business in a more consultative type of manner, then and you can pick up on someone's energy when you have a conversation with them, and you can kind of pick up on what they're all about. So that's what I'm really looking for, and someone willing to have an openness to get their dig their nails in, get their feet, their hands all dirty and jump in. And they're not just looking for someone else to do it for them. They're not thinking that, opportunity time is a business model. They understand that that's the cherry on top of the sundae that they create, and that they need to take responsibility for, their success. I'm just here to make sure they've got all the tools and resources and, a sounding board, and I'm here to help with everything from going to your appointments to your CMAs to tough negotiation issues. I'm always here for them.
Wow.
But so they always have a wingman if they need it, and they know that. But we do a lot of training, all of that. So yes, yeah.
So a new agent. Are a lot of those agents newer agents, experienced? Is it mixed? What does that look like?
I would say it's a mixed bag, but on the whole, I would say a level of experience. I've been a little bit pickier as it relates to new agents. Now I require 1 year of experience.
Right.
I've made exceptions for the exceptional. And it really depends on their background, their history, their previous experience, and how that might carry over to real estate. So, I would say it's a mixed bag, but I would say on the whole, all of our agents probably have on average, if I had to guess, some of them have had real estate careers in the multi-decade, realm. So some have been in real estate for 30, 40 years. And then we might have someone licensed for 4 years. I would say average realtor probably 10 years.
Wow. That's awesome. What, for you, what would you say is your real estate superpower? What are you great at?
I would say, it's my empathy for sure. And, to listen and understand what somebody's feeling, where they're coming from. I'm pretty inquisitive. So, I'm very empathetic to my clients, what their situations are, where they are now, where they want to go. And I think in that sense, I'm also looking at the other side of the fence and figuring out what makes the other party tick, what's important to them, how can we come together, how can we, create a winning deal for everybody involved. That's ideal. While having, of course, your client's interests and all your fiduciary duty, of course, to your client first. But I think that, not being so self-centric and self-orbiting and more concerned about others, again, is probably at my detriment, Joe, also. I'm one of those people that'll run themselves ragged, right? Taking care of everybody else. So that's me. So yeah, I would say that's probably my strong suit.
So you said that a lot. You said thinking about other people, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's That was so I agree. I've done a lot of work on myself to get there. That's like not my natural. That's not my default, right? Like I think my default is I'm a selfish person, right? So therefore, where the work comes in, right? Self discovery and all that. I'm interested to know how you were. You always like that? How did you get there?
Oh,
Like
I'm
when?
sure it's like the result of like childhood trauma and like I don't know. My
Dude.
I mean, are we doing this? Like,
I mean, listen. I don't know how much shit. I don't know how much you know about. I'm sober. I'm 6.5 years sober. So I learned about that through my program.
Yeah.
I go see the therapist. I mean, I got shit, baby,
oh
for
no,
sure.
I mean,
But no, I think that's a superpower,
I
man.
mean,
When
it
you can
definitely
think.
has an impact of my environment and probably my genetics and
Yeah.
of my own natural personality and those kind of things. But I grew up in a ballet studio and around lots of classical music, and my mother was this. She's still alive. I say was. She is a very exotic Turkish ballerina type. So I had a very
Wow.
colorful childhood, and yes, I am confident that has a lot to do with who I am. Yeah.
That's cool. I want to hear more about your family. Are you Turkish ballerina? Tell us about that, man. What did you?
So my mother's from Turkey, and my dad is not. He is from New Jersey, and
Yes.
I guess their story in a nutshell. My mom was in the Turkish ballet company, touring with the ballet company all over Europe, but they got a summer break and she went to New Jersey to visit her brother who was in medical school, my Uncle Tanner, and he was good friends with my dad. And, she couldn't speak a lick of English at all. She was very beautiful, and she was actually a Chanel face model for a short period of time.
What?
Short lady, though, didn't do runway, so she did do some modeling in New York. So she was a knockout. And Dad, I'm sure drooled over her over that summer, and then she had to go back to Turkey to get back on tour with her ballet company, and he chased her and proposed and brought her back. Again, still didn't speak English, but she speaks
Really?
she speaks a lot of it now. so yeah. And my dad was into airplanes and aviation, and Mooney Aerospace, which is a company here in Kerrville. Little Kerrville, Texas, is what brought my family, or my parents, here to settle. This would have been the late 70s. And my mom opened up a dance, ballet school here and taught ballet to the Schreiner University students. And my dad did his airplane thing, and they had my sister, and then they had me. So there you go.
That's cool. That's cool. See, this is what I'm talking about. That's the interesting shit, right? Like,
but
so he went to Turkey and was like, I'm gonna
like,
grab you.
I'm gonna keep that. Yep. I'm taking this.
Wow. Did you start real estate when your modeling career ended as well, or what did that look like?
No modeling here. Now Micah actually did some modeling, my husband, but he's my trophy husband. No, I got into real estate. Let's see. So we opened in 2008. And I can do math. That's what, we're 25. So 17 years we've been open. And then I got licensed in 2006. But I was in the real estate field in 2002. And that was kind of random in a way. It was college. It was how I met my husband. He's the one that influenced me to get into real estate. So I was an art major. Kind of enjoying freeloading off my dad and college life and going to the beach. And I was, I met my husband, Micah. He was working for a real estate company that was a boutique-esque, Ocean Drive dominating type of firm. And So we were dating, and he's been working since he was like 12. He's from Oklahoma.
Wow. Yeah, tell us about Micah.
Super different family entirely, and I feel like we're just two totally different cultures entirely. But we fell in love and really liked each other, and he I never had a job. And like I said, just kind of enjoying myself in college, and I felt really sorry for my dad, and he said, I really like you, I think you're great, but you need to cut your dad off, and I feel sorry for Jeff, and you need to get a job. And I was kind of like, well, I really like volunteering for free at the museum, this is great. And he was like, no, I think, why don't you get a summer gig job at my firm for one of our top agents? You can be their assistant, see how you like it, it'll be great. And so he did. He hooked me up with, that agent, and every office has one where they could sell ice to an Eskimo. And so I went to work for him over a summer, and just got totally immersed in this fascinating world of real estate, So I went with him to his listing appointments and helped him with showings, and then I was doing because I did a lot of graphic design and arts, major stuff, and so I was doing his newsletter, and then I was helping him with paperwork, and then all the sweet ladies in the office were like, darling, you need to get your license, you'd be so good at this. And so I was like, okay, I'll do that too. And so I got my license, but then, I was running around with Micah in his office and all his staff mates, and they were a really cool, tight office. And so his boss ended up saying, you work for me now. And I was like, okay, salary, I like that too. I was still an agent. And then we ended up, I felt like I was just there from sun up to sundown, first man in, last man out, agent hiring, firing, training, and implementing all these kind of systems. Then we morphed into the Keller Williams Market Center when Keller Williams was the big market disruptor. This is how old I am, right? This was a while back. And so we launched, we left the luxury boutique office and ditched that model and that niche for the big market center, and had a total change of environment entirely. We went from a small office with high dollar listings to a large office with lower, more average price points. And it's not saying one niche is better than the other, but they gave me an opportunity to kind of pick the good, bad, and ugly from both models, right? Because I got to get heavily entrenched in both. So, I went from the low, I did no job and all of that, lack of motivation, if you will, to just being an incredible real estate junkie. And, I thrived on it, lived and breathed it. And I was, number 2 in that office for, a while there, and managed all of my bosses, higher end properties and all those heavy expectations with that clientele, as well as running the office and things like that. So, a little light bulb went off in our minds, and we were like, well, we're either going to stay here and kind of settle here, or we're going to go ahead and move to the hill country, which is what we ended up doing. And it was the best experience. You just cannot put a dollar amount on that. And it was a brief period of time where you just went from, assistant to top of the food chain. Like, it was great. And so we really got to know operationally how a brokerage functions, and so we had a lead coordinator, a file review department, a marketing director, all the things. So it was awesome.
Wow, that's cool. Do you have what about kids? Do you have kids?
We have kids. We have 2 daughters. They're close in birthday, so we're gearing up for Vivian's 8th birthday at the end of this month, and then Livia turns 11.
Wow. What do they like to do?
Halloween Day. And we're taking Livia, I don't know if you've been there, to Salem for Halloween.
I have not been there.
I'm so excited.
Have you?
I'm like a spooky freak. I love all the stuff. And so, yes, I'm very excited. We're all going to go for 3 or 4 nights.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited.
We go to the Oogie Boogie Bash at Disneyland at California Adventure. Do you know what that is?
I haven't done any of the Disney stuff. I really want to do
No.
that.
Are you like a Tim Burton person, like
Oh,
Nightmare Before
yes.
Christmas?
Love Tim
Yeah,
Burton.
yeah.
So he's got all his stuff, all his attractions are there.
So the Haunted Mansion, they turn it into like a Nightmare Before Christmas. They like redo the whole thing. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. Like, and I'm not a theme park person. I'm not a whatever. And but yeah, we do the Oogie Boogie Bash is like, so there's Disneyland, there's California Adventure. So this happens at California Adventure. They like shut it down at like 4 p.m. and then you essentially kids go trick or treating and they have like they have all these I think they call it treat lines. Like they set up and they have different characters from different
That's
like
so
haunted
cool.
like Walt Disney stuff and it's the coolest. It's like so cool. I like love it. And
Great.
yeah, we got tickets for that, so I'm pretty excited. Is Halloween your favorite holiday?
For holiday by far. Yep.
That's
Yep.
cool, man.
Spooky
I
girl.
had so my first podcast was Spencer Dorsey. He has a merch company called Discount Cemetery. It's like horror based,
Oh.
right? It's like really
I
like
mean,
shout out.
I like Halloween, but I don't want to drive a hearse. And no, I'm just kidding. I'm teasing.
He's like, no, it's a merch company. Like it's called Discount Cemetery. So like he does T-shirts and
That's
apparel,
cool.
and
I'll check it out.
then like we publish. He's like an old friend of mine from Jersey, and then we like published the podcast, and like it got so many views. Like it went.
Okay,
He's
what
famous
is it
in
called
that.
again? It's called
It's called Discount
Cemetery.
Cemetery. But the dude's name is Spencer Dorsey. He's worth following. He's really funny. He's like has a great personality.
Okay.
And the whole vibe is like keep Halloween like alive in your neighborhood like year round. Like that's the vibe or whatever.
Oh my,
And he's like he was on the big pod like my pod this is fun. I like doing this, but he was on like another like big podcast recently. But it was funny because my real estate podcast, like that's the only non-real estate podcast I did.
Okay.
And he was an old dude. He's an old friend of mine from like Jersey. We hadn't talked in years, and we connected back on Instagram. And it was fun. No, that's not true. Johnny from Newport Beach Surf Camp. He was my first. He was the
Who I
first
met?
one.
Yes.
Who you met, who gave you surf lessons, right? So Johnny was the first one. Then it was. So I did like my friends first, and I'm like, all right. And like I was scared. Then I'm like, all right. Now I'm gonna go get my. I'm gonna go ask like the really cool realtors that I'm scared of to do my podcast. But so what do you? All right, cool. So now we're getting into the fun stuff. What else do you like to do outside of? What do you like to do outside of work?
There's not a lot going on outside of work. No, I think I'm currently, at the minute, very much into becoming a plant freak person. And I went from, having a black thumb, fake plants, would, be very not into it, didn't understand it, to completely trying to collect all of them. So that's kind of what my little world is right now, is playing with my plants and my patio and trying to create a little Zen sanctuary to decompress in. That's kind of my thing, my jam at the minute. We're resurfacing the pools, and so we're trying to just get that whole area like on point. And it's funny because, I'm so focused over here, but my closet right now really needs an overhaul. So anyway, that's just kind of the minute focus. But I would say in general, what would I like to be doing for fun? I mean, just traveling and living in Monaco. Let's see. No, I'd say travel, eating and traveling. That's what I would love to be doing for fun. But for now,
right here,
plants. For now, it's plants.
Plants. My next question here is, if you could take a month off to travel anywhere,
Well,
where would you go?
Europe in general. I would cover every square inch of it. Yes.
Where have you been? That's like your favorite place that you've been, that you're like.
I went to
like
northern Italy and loved that. They had puffy hydrangea, bushes as tall as 10 feet high everywhere with, just, abandoned mansions along a lake that, they were practically giving away. I was just like, yes, I will
Really?
live there.
Wow.
I will live there. I will take this
Wow.
abandoned mansion with no power and be just fine. So,
Wow. Have you been out of the country recently? Like, when was the last time you went
I went
out of the country?
to Bora Bora with my girlfriend Amber, which is so amazing. She's a State Farm agent, and she had an incredible year, and that company is awesome if you have any
Sick.
State Farm friends. So that they give out vacations and they're amazingly curated trips. And
Wow.
they got their kind of more European and that kind of vacation for the agents that do well and are successful and productive, or they have this like really high trip, which is the pinnacle, called their exotic. Well, Amber hit exotic, and so her and her husband were going to go to Bora Bora for 10
Wow.
days.
Wow.
And her son got sick and her husband didn't feel comfortable leaving. So literally she called me up and she was like, "What are you doing this weekend?" And I was like, "Nothing." "Why?" She was like, "Well, you want to go to Bora Bora with me?" I was like, yeah. And she was like, 10 days, you're in? I was like, I'm in. I've got my passport. Let's go. And we just left. I mean, like, and had
Was it awesome?
of a lifetime. Oh my gosh, incredible. Just amazing. I mean, it's halfway between where you are, California, and Australia. It's like a teeny tiny little speck in the middle of all this ocean. And it was paradise. It was incredible. It was like the Blue Lagoon, and we were, looking for black pearls all day, and, it was at St. Regis, so it was insane. It was awesome.
Were you on like one of those huts above the
Oh, yeah.
water?
You bet. And it was funny, it was Amber and I, but they started, the people that clean your room and do all of that, they leave these little cards, and by the end of the trip we were Mrs. and Mrs. Thomason, and we were just laughing,
That's
'cause
funny.
it's like the most romantic,
Uh-huh. Yeah,
ever.
totally.
So I was like, you can call me Mrs. Thomason, it's fine. We had an incredible time. I mean, we were adventuring all over those islands. It was great.
How do you get there, right? Was there like is it like a whole thing?
Long
Like there?
flight. So we flew to LA, and then from LA, oh gosh, now I can't remember, Tahiti, is that right?
Yeah, sounds about right.
And then a little plane to
Yep.
Bora Bora. So we had 2 legs of the trip. So it was, awesome though. Really, really, unique. The water is indescribable. It's just, it's magical. It's like the Garden of Eden over there, especially underwater, and it's incredible.
We went, my wife, Nicole is her name. Nicole and I, our honeymoon was in Fiji. So we did kind of like a similar, we did took the plane ride from LA to the town is like Nandi, right? And then we took a prop plane and then like a boat to the island. It was so
Very
cool.
remote. Very remote. It was awesome.
I was like, this is crazy. I'm not really a guy that I'm not really your like sit still, relax guy. So it took some getting used to, but it was really, really nice.
Exactly.
How do you relax? Like, so you go away for 10 days of Bora Bora. You're used to like coffee shops and kids and all that. Like, how do you shut it down, or do you?
Relax, Joe. Honestly,
Yeah,
I really don't think I do. Maybe one
You know-
day. I don't sit still very well. I guess,
course,
honestly, if I get sick, okay, there you go. If I get sick, then I'll relax. And what do? I will order Chinese takeout and curl up in bed and watch like British shows. That's literally what I love to do. If that's relaxing for me with my cat. There you go.
Laura, you're funny. Like, getting to know you, you're like, you have a good sense of humor. First of all, when I was having my second kid, right? I have 2 boys, right? Max and Milo. When I was having my second child, a buddy of mine who already had 2 kids, he was like, "Oh, you have another one?" This is what he said to me. He goes, "You'll never know what you did with all your free time," right? And I didn't I didn't believe. I'm like, what are you talking about, dude? I have a kid, dude. My free time's gone. He's like, no, 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 no. You'll never know. And then it like happened, and I was like, holy shit. Having one kid was like being single, dude. I'm like, dude, I got all the time. I'm like, dude, this is sick, right? Like I can like, and so I was gonna say like, yeah, your life is probably just like it sounds like I see a lot of similarities. It's just go, 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 go. And with 2 kids, it's no joke, right? And then
Right.
to the point, you know what's so funny? Nicole and I, we rarely, like we try really hard to do like date night, you know, and we do. We
We're
do it
doing that
at least,
now. Yes.
yeah, like bi-weekly at the least, right? Like every other week. We try to do it every week, but every other week. We got to sit there for like 3 hours, and then we went and got
Right.
like sushi, and we ate the sushi, and we like ate it fast. I guess like it was over in like 45 minutes, and we were in this like kind of like strip mall thing, and we were like, "What do we do?" And
I
like we
know.
looked at
What
each
do we do
other.
with ourselves?
There was like a
True.
Nordstrom. We're like, "Let's walk around
So
Nordstrom."
let's go home. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it's so true. It's so true.
I was like, "We were losers. We used to do so much fun shit." I'm like, yo, I think I was like, yo, do you want to go to Nordstrom? She's like, yeah. She's like, Milo needs some Crocs.
It's so true though. I mean, we took like one trip, just Mike and I, and the whole time we're like, about the kids. I mean, it's like, yeah, I get it.
Oh God, that's funny, man. I'm gonna ask you a couple more questions here. Who is the celebrity that you met that was cool?
That I met? I haven't met very many.
Besides me, not me.
I mean,
I don't
you,
count.
Well, who have you met? I live in Kerrville, Texas, dude. You live in like, California. You're surrounded by celebrities. How
That
about
is true.
you?
I do hang out with a lot of famous people, but this isn't about me, Laura. This is about you. I don't know. That's a good question.
Who
Usually
would you
people.
want to go to dinner with?
Okay. That's funny. That's a question that's here. Who would I want to go to dinner with? I'm kind of a dork. Like, I would probably, like, if I turn around and I look at, like, all my books, right? I would probably say, like, dude, like Simon Sinek or, like, Susan Scott or, like, somebody like, dude, I would love to go to dinner with, like, Jim Rohn, like, a leadership person, or, like, John Maxwell. For me, I think, like leadership, God, man, like I worked really hard. I tried to start, like when I first started running a business, I ran it very poorly. And I realized I wasn't a very good leader. It goes back to the like thinking about other people and like what that whole thing that you were talking about. That's why I was very intrigued. And it's like, it's funny. Sometimes you got to look within, but like, yeah, I don't believe that leaders are born. I think that they're like made, man. And I think like it has a lot to do with servant leadership and really like how do you get people to do the shit you want them to do, right? Like honestly, like you just have to explain at a really high level and make it very clear how it's going to benefit not only them but like everyone around us, right? And if it doesn't benefit everyone, we probably shouldn't be doing it. So if I was to have dinner, it would probably be one of those folks. What about you?
Okay, well, I was still thinking like just celebrity, just a random.
Well, Scarlett Johansson is my girlfriend, but she doesn't know that or whatever, and so like I can say I'll do that one. Like I like, yeah, that's all. That's all.
I would probably have 2 different answers for 2 different dinners. I think like somebody that's just intriguing and has a different brain wavelength. Okay, like the Elon Musk, Michelangelo era inventing all these cool things and being super different brain wave length, all of that. That would be really cool. Probably for a minute. I have a feeling though that you would feel somehow you'd walk away uncomfortable after a dinner with him. I don't know. That's my thoughts.
Oh yeah.
And then, but if I could just pick like a random celebrity to go have dinner with, it would probably be like Paul Rudd. Someone that just seems super like down to earth.
Oh, that's a good one.
And approachable, charming, funny. I go for funny. I need somebody to make me laugh. I don't want to be too weirded out at dinner. So I think I'd probably go with someone that'll make me crack up, or Bill Murray, or somebody like that. Sounds great to me. So I probably lean towards comedians, honestly.
I met Bill Murray.
Stop.
In your face.
I'm jealous. Is he on your wall, your shrine?
Holy shit. So we used to go, I grew up in Jersey. We used to go I was a Mets fan, New York Mets, the baseball team. We used to go to Queens and go to baseball games constantly. And I would sit outside. After the game, there's the door that the baseball players come out of sometimes, and it's funny, man. Some of them would walk, they'd walk to their cars or whatever, right? Outside the stadium, and I would stand there to meet everyone. And
then you pounce.
Yeah, then fuck yeah. And then it was so exciting. And Bill Murray, it was called the Diamond Club, right? And then Bill Murray walked out, and I was a kid, right? It was me and my sister and my dad, and I had my baseball, that I was having signed by all the New York Mets. And it's funny, I kept the sweet spot of the baseball, open for my favorite player, which was, Greg Jeffries. My dream was, meet him, and I'd be I left this spot open for you on the baseball. And my Bill Murray comes out, and my sister screams, "It's Bob." She goes, "It's Bob. It's Bob," from What About Bob, right?
Oh,
and we had been watching What About Bob that summer, over and over and over. We had the VHS in our house, and my dad kind of gave me a nudge. He's like, "Get his autograph." And I was like, and Bill Murray just grabbed my ball and pen and just signed it right on the sweet spot that I was
You're
saving.
No.
I remember being bummed. I was like, "What, dude?"
Not
And
fair.
my dad was psyched, and I remember Bill Murray was the most homeless looking person. He had, it was summertime, he had a big, the brown overcoat you wear in New York, whatever. He he had one of those on, and he just was looked so, he looked homeless, man. He looked so wrecked. And yeah, that was it. So I met Bill Murray, man. It was good. I don't know. I used to tour with bands when I was younger, so I met a lot of people, man. Just been in a lot of backstage areas and rooms, and I think one night I partied with Vince Vaughn. It was Vince Vaughn, Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine. It was a Pennywise show in Anaheim, California, but it was actually a motocross. It was a motocross awards show that Pennywise was playing, and I just happened to be there hanging out with the band, and then Kerry King from Slayer, all these people just started coming in the green room, and
That sounds awesome.
it was pretty crazy, man. Yeah, it was pretty nuts. It was pretty wild. So I was really lucky to be in a lot of those kind of rooms. It was really, really neat. Where is your real estate company going? What's the goal? Where do you see the company in 2-3 years from now?
Well, we're bolstering our presence in Fredericksburg and growing there. We're currently number one real estate firm there, and so I'm very excited about that because we just opened over there. Really, probably no more than maybe a year ago, and so very excited about that. That's kind of where my focus is, I would say, for the next year or two. I'm very happy in my market. I love being a strong local brand, if you will, an independent firm, and because I can pivot my ship wherever I want to go. But I'm also a firm believer, and we said this too, just because you can doesn't mean you should. So I don't want to spread myself too thin. I'm pretty happy with, my stable and what we've got going on between Kerr and Gillespie County. So, but if opportunities present themselves, and yeah, I'm always looking. Can't help it. It's like real estate. We're always looking, right? So it's like that. Yeah.
Well, listen, I think the next time I'll see you is at Unlock, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Cool. Is there anything I didn't ask that I should have asked?
I don't think so. You've been quite thorough. No,
Okay, so-
I think that you did a great job. This was fun. Thank you so much. And I'm excited about Vegas. I'm going to see if I can get tickets to the Sphere. Did you do the Sphere? That is cool.
I didn't.
They're doing the Wizard of Oz thing right now, so I'm going to see if I can sneak away for that. Oh, and did you see like our email? We've got like Jessica Alba coming to our unlock. Did you see that?
How cool is that?
So
How cool is that?
maybe
Well,
save a spot on your baseball for her to sign for you. And
you know, I heard Jessica Alba was like, I'm keynoting a conference that Joe Oz is speaking at. I heard her say that, like, which
Oz is
was
gonna be
kind.
there.
It's kind of
Oz
weird.
is gonna be there.
I'm on like a panel like in a basement somewhere where like no one can find me, but like but I am gonna be like, yeah, I'm on a panel at a conference with Jessica Alba, who will be it's no big deal, dude. I was at Inman. I'm an Inman ambassador, whatever that,
Very cool.
and Tony Hawk was the keynote speaker. I'm like, yeah, kind of me and Tony are doing the big stage.
Tony and I.
I like walked on the stage before he was on it. But anyway, I'm excited. No, I haven't prepped at all. Dude, you know what I was thinking is how we did the Newport thing. I was just talking with Abel and Christina, and we were like, dude, we should do another AAB thing, like a event or something in Vegas. And
Like a little extracurricular activity.
yeah, like just for us, just for us, because like
Well,
that
one
group.
of the fun things is hanging out in the pools. Honestly,
That's true.
So cool.
That's true. Well, I said there's no surfing, and then Abel's like, dude, this is what Abel says.
Wow,
I swear to
you
God.
could go to Meow Wolf. That's fun.
What is it?
Meow Wolf.
What is that?
Like an art immersive warehouse where you go into this different world and everything is like.
It's called Meow Wolf.
Oh yes, Joe. How do you not know this? There's Meow Wolves all over the place.
That's why I'm asking you.
Meow Wolf is
I'm like
fun. The Sphere is fun, but not as interactive, right? You're just watching a screen together. But Meow Wolf is a lot of fun.
I'm gonna write that
or
down.
Hanging out
You know
at the
what?
pool is fun.
Hang on the pool. You know what Abel said? You know what he suggested? He goes this. He goes, oh, in Vegas you can like rent a helicopter and shoot guns out of it. And I was like, I'm not.
See, they have this like mud pit where you can actually like operate heavy machinery and like try to play basketball with a crane. I mean, and all this stuff. Have you seen this? I was kind of intrigued by that. I was like, well, maybe if I can work that in. I'm going to see if I can work that in.
I'm glad I asked you.
I want to go
You're
to
getting
like a Dead Mouse concert at a pool. And
oh, that sounds fun.
There you go.
Dude, hell yeah. That sounds good. All right, cool. I'm going to stop this now. Don't go anywhere yet. I'm going to say goodbye to you.
Okay.
I'm just going to stop this.